Okay, let's check in with Eric Osterhaus to kind of talk about where the markets were this past week. He's with Paragon Ag Advisors in Silver Lake, Kansas. All right, we had the big report out yesterday on Friday. Going into the report, I want to focus on this for just a minute, particularly the technicals, because there were some that were saying, and I don't know what percentage were really feeling this way, but there were some in the trade that were saying, these numbers that come out, we're not sure we're going to put a lot of credence in them because this was a survey that was done in late May, early June. And things have changed a lot since then. We've had a lot of weather. We've had a lot of preventive planning. There's been a lot of water under the bridge, no pun intended. So what about the technicals? Have we built, and I want to start with corn, have we built enough of a floor here on our moving averages, you think, that the trade really has a little bit of a concept, hey, we got a problem out here in corn country?
Yeah, it really appears on the chart. You can see it. I mean, as always, I got to preface it with anything can and often does happen in regards to the commodity markets. But, in looking at the technicals there, we do have a technical gap from several weeks back when we moved higher. That's our new support. But it really feels like corn has found what its new norm is for the moment, at least that range. And so it's going to take something pretty off the wall or outlandish, I guess, to get us to break through that. At the downside, at least at this point, it would have to be a left field type item. So really, it feels like corn's found its new norm as it waits to burp down all this news. Of course, the acres number is kind of known. It kind of was known going into this report, or at least in general. Now the debate will still be out there as to the accuracy of that report. But again, even that that was expected, that we were going to have a debate as to what that number is. Really, it's going to be forward looking from here now in the direction of the corn market in regards to what's that weather concern, how is it looking on the 10 to 14 day forecast, all the debate on pollination that's going to start going on corn, and beans, did they get in? And of course, with wheat, we'll be talking about what are we actually seeing in the harvest. But yes, those technicals, especially with the corn market, really are showing us kind of a bit of a support range here at the moment.
You mentioned wheat. For the last week, it's been kind of the leader, particularly on some of the overnight trade. Is there, and I'm hearing basis start to increase in some of the areas out west, because there are some that are saying, we may feel a little bit more wheat this year. What have you been hearing? Same thing?
Well, yeah, exactly the same things. I mean, overall, the early results have showed some pretty decent wheat out there. Of course, there's always some spots, but again, we all know about the acres number that we have here on wheat. But again, if you look at the corn market and where it's moved, again, you mentioned you do start to, once you take basis into consideration on corn and the wheat both, wheat's starting to creep into that feed grain as a possibility, especially for some of those places out further west, as an example, where maybe the corn is going to be suffering from a yield standpoint, and there's some thought that the wheat will start to step in. So of course, demand increases, basis will start to work with it, and I think we've seen some hints of that.
I got about 30 seconds here. Any final thoughts to watch for as we break open a brand new week? Because it's going to be a new quarter, new month, new front lead contracts. This could be interesting.
Yeah, it's again, you have to understand this market that we're in. There's no, from a trading standpoint, from a hedging standpoint, a lot of folks out there, we're not able to go back and look at, well, this reminds me of X year. We don't have that. So the volatility of the market, it is going to be uneven. It's going to be choppy with a lot of uncertainty. So expect the markets not to be just nice and gentle.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Eric. Stay tuned. We've got more just around the corner.